I told you in 1975, there was 6 of us that took the oath that night. I'm the only one alive today. My name is Michael Francis, and I was a former capo regime in the Colombo crime family back in New York, one of the 5 New York Mafia, La Cosa Nostra families. Halloween night 1975, I was called into a room with 5 other gentlemen. It was a very solemn ceremony. The 6 of us walked into a room individually, boss seated at the head of a horseshoe configuration. Walked down the aisle, stood in front of the boss, held out my hand. He took a knife, cut my finger, some blood dropped on the floor. Took a picture of a saint, a Catholic altar card, put it in my hands and lit it aflame. And he said, "Tonight, Michael Francis, you are born again into a new life, into La Cosa Nostra." I was motivated to do 2 things. 1, I wanted to get my dad out of prison. And 2, I wanted to make money. I was very aggressive on the street. I brought some new things into the family, hadn't been done before. So I devised a scheme to defraud the government out of tax on every gallon of gasoline. I ran that operation for about 8 years, and at the height of my operation, I was selling 500 million gallons of gas a month. And at one point in time, we were bringing in $7, $8, $9, $10 million a week. I was probably at the height of my game. My father was grooming me to take over the family, boss, underboss, whatever way it worked out. I was indicted 5 times. I had 2 federal racketeering cases, 1 brought on by Rudy Giuliani. I was eventually acquitted in that case. I really had it going on at the age of 29. I decided to try to walk away from that life. I didn't want to hurt my former associates, but that's not something that you do. When you leave that life, it's considered betraying your oath, and you can pay for it with your life. I was willing to take that chance. I took a plea on a big racketeering case involving this whole gas scam that I was involved in. I got a 10-year prison sentence. I married Camille. She's now my wife of 35 years. We moved out to California. I go off to do my time. As a result of that, I'm in a lot of trouble. Immediate contract on my life. My father at the time pretty well disowned me. He was very upset with what I did. I had law enforcement all over me. The feds wanted me to become a major informant, major witness. I didn't want any part of that. I had a very rough time in prison. I did 5 pretty tough years as a result of that. I got out after 5 years on parole. I'm on parole for 13 months. Worst 13 months of my life. You know, basically dodging bullets, a lot of trouble with the feds still, trying to make a living out in California. My wife and I, at that point in time, we had 2 little babies, 3rd one on the way. After 13 months, like a fool, I make a mistake. I fall into a trap, violate my parole. They send me back to prison, told me I'd never see the light of day again. I'd never be a free man. I did 29 months and 7 days in the hole. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was in lockdown. It was during that time that I became a person of faith, studied my Bible very much, and decided that I was going to really try to make a transition in my life. For the last 23 years, I've been a very prolific speaker, both on a faith-based side and in a secular side. I speak all over the world. I've written 4 books. I'm on my 5th, and I've been extremely blessed to be where I am today. I told you in 1975, there was 6 of us that took the oath that night. I'm the only one alive today. The other 5 were all murdered. Taking that a step further, 1986, Fortune magazine wrote a huge article, 50 biggest and most powerful mob bosses in the country. Out of that list of 50, some 33 years later, 49 of them are dead. I'm the only one that survived. So to say that I'm a fortunate, blessed guy is really an understatement. And, you know, I attribute that to God having a different plan and a purpose for my life, and me meeting this young girl, because if it wasn't for her, I'd either be dead or in prison for the rest of my life, without a doubt, like all my former friends and associates. You know, I have to say, during my time in that life, I was a committed mob guy, and I wanted to be the best possible mob guy I could be. I wanted to make my father proud, and plus I try to do my best when I'm doing something. But there were times in that life when I did things that I just did not feel good about, and I'm almost ashamed to say that I did them anyway. I saw people get killed for the wrong reasons. I saw people suffer for the wrong reasons. You know, unfortunately, you can't go back and change things. You can only hope that you can move forward and do better.